Oh, hello, and welcome to Al Dente Rick and Mortis. I don't know if I should make fun of him. Fuck it, I already did it. I'm the gamer in yellow.
And I'm Mikey, the East End Revo.
And how do we do this? God, he does it so much, and I don't listen.
And we're here to discuss those stories most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it.
There you go. Through our powers combined, we are like our normal host, gamer, or not. Wow, we are like our normal host, review cultist who can't be with us today. So I am very poorly taking over. Today we are reading a story called Nails on the Creepypasta wiki. Or I mean, it should be, but we had to go way back to get it. But I guess we'll start with initial recommendations. Or does it do rundown first? Initial recommendations.
Initial recommendations, yeah.
All right.
Do this.
You would think I would know, right? Just like I'm just a cog in the machine. I don't pay attention to the previous cogs. I just do what I do. You know, that's the way it is. Either way, I'll partially recommend this one.
I'm going to not recommend this one.
How dare you? But you are valid. And we'll see how valid you are by what you say when we continue. But first, the rundown, which I totally wrote down. So the basics is 3 a.m. is the spooky hour, as everyone knows. And Nair knows that for a fact. Characters Nair because we don't have their name. Their apartment is always extra quiet around 3. And despite this, for the past 4 months, there's been a strange scratching noise somewhere in the apartment. There's been no attempt to locate the sound, basically just because Nair keeps forgetting about it, which, you know, I get. I totally get that. But one day he remembers and decides to prepare, this time armed with a flashlight as he goes to bed, so he can try to spot what it is when he hears it. Assuming it might be a mouse or something, because what else could it be? Then the sound starts up around 3. Nair is extra scared because there's also a new sound that accompanies the previous sound, which was a scratching sound, but this one's kind of like a crunching sound that goes along with it. Regardless, Nair gets up and runs to the door, puts the lights on, and checks outside carefully. Out in the hallway, Nair sees a pale blue child with long metal nails through its flesh. It's moving in jerky kind of steps and limping with one of its legs, holding a plastic bag in one hand and a hammer in the other. The sight of this causes Nair to immediately vomit on the spot and stumble back into his messy apartment, falling onto his ass. The bag that the creature's holding splits, revealing a nail in it just before the creature attacks Nair, driving 2 nails through his eyes before continuing. Its mouth opening and splitting because it was nailed shut previously and spilling this black blood all over Nair as it attacked him. And the story ends with Nair saying that he'll be coming out at 3 now too, and he's excited to see you. And basically saying that he is now one of them as well, and he has his own plastic bag that'll split open and murder you and all that. Finn. So that's the basics of Nails. So from there, we will move on to everyone tolerates the Grim Inquisition. At this point, I guess I'll start because I got a few. It's weird going before you. I always go after you. Everything is awkward. I'm always the last one to say everything, and now I'm the first one to say everything. Either way, so first paragraph mentions how Nair's apartment is always very quiet at 3 a.m. despite them being in the city. And the second paragraph continues that notion with this analogy. It's like my apartment was high on a platform, surrounded only by a dense fog that the sharpest of hawk eyes couldn't penetrate. So for me, I personally don't see what A has to do with B here, because the first part specifically is talking about the audio of his apartment. So what does the vision of a hawk have to do with the audio? It seems like it very
Yeah.
disjointed and weird. They could have gone with like a much simpler analogy, something like, it's like my apartment always put on its noise-canceling headphones around this time, which didn't bother me since I was usually attempting to sleep at that time, blah, 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 blah. But, like, sound with sound, not sound with vision. It's a very
Yeah.
strange kind of jump.
Well, and I mean, that happens in the first paragraph here as well, where no drunk shouting in the street at that time, no sound of car horns and alarms could penetrate the dark at that particular hour. It's like, well, yeah, you need light to penetrate the dark.
You're right. Yeah. It is a weird combination of things. Like, if it's trying to say that there is also a visual, like, supernatural darkness that's happening too, so be it. But up to this point, all we know is sound. So it's weird that it keeps throwing these visual cues in that don't actually connect to anything. They're just kind of there because they sound cool. But either way, that's easily fixable with audio-based analogies.
Audio with audio, light with darkness.
Yeah, totally. So then I'll move on to my only other one. This one, it's sort of akin to my previous, but I had a bit of a confusion happen later on with the sound design, because at first it said the sound at first was like scratching. If you have fingernails, drag them along a table. That's what it says to describe the first sound. And then soon after, when it's referring to like work and stuff like that, this isn't the sound of the creature, but he's at work thinking about stuff that happens. And he says, for instance, a man's hand ended up being caught in the stamping machine under a sheet of aluminum. The crunch was sickening. It sounded like a dog chewing upon a bone. That same splintering sound. But it's saying that same splintering sound, which made me assume it was referring back to the sound of the apartment, because it says the same splintering sound.
No, he's saying that it sounds like a dog chewing upon a bone.
And he's just doubling down
as the machine stamping, making a crunch.
So technically tripling down, because there's the crunch was sickening, which you already have an audio cue in your head of that, and it says it sounded like a dog chewing a bone. There's another one, and then that same splintering sound. It's like it's going a little heavy-handed with it.
Yeah.
For something that has nothing to do with the creature at all, right?
Yeah. At that point, yeah.
What do you mean at that point?
Wasn't there a crunching later, or am I just imagining a shotgun?
No, it's like a jangly sort of noise. There were 3 distinct sounds in this. There was the scraping, there was the crunching from just him remembering someone's hand getting stuck at work, and then like a metal jangling and a maraca sound later on.
Okay.
So the second sound doesn't really have anything to do with the story. It's just there as just maybe a red herring, but maybe it's just a little bit of filler to just talk about the shit he goes through every day. Mm-hmm. Like he's dealing with this when he wakes up and goes to bed. Then when he goes to work, there's still weird shit happening. But I don't know. The basics of that. My biggest problem with that was the specific wording of that same splintering sound, because that could refer to the previous scratching noise, just oddly worded, because it's saying that same sound, as in it's trying to describe it more.
Yeah.
So for me, it'd be like either remove just that same splintering sound word because it adds confusion, or if it is meaning to compare to the apartment sound, then add that there's a crunchy sound that accompanies the scratching when it's brought up in the first place. But that's basically all I got for grammar. I'm not doing like typos anymore because, man, I'm tired of just talking about typos. Like, who cares? So, but anything that I'm tripping over, I'm going to bring up. So that's what I did.
Yeah, so you're going to use typonies going forward.
Hell yeah. I always do anyways. It's shocking how many times like we've read through a story and both you and Review Cultist have like 15 different grammar things. I'm like, I saw none of these. I just read over all of them. I was looking for them. I didn't find them. But so whatever. I'm just giving in to my typonies nature.
Okay.
But yeah, on to you, if you have any.
Well, I have a conjunction junction.
Awesome.
And next stop, Conjunction Junction. Doot doot.
It's like my apartment was high on a platform, surrounded only by a dense fog that the sharpest of hawk eyes couldn't penetrate. It was slow, and every time I heard it, I froze up. It wasn't as dramatic as anything like ghostly moaning or anything like that, but it still scared me so much I reverted to childhood and stuck my head under the blanket. It paid the bills, and getting to sit around until someone needed help fixing a machine wasn't too bad. But one day I didn't. It made me cold just at the thought, but I knew I had to do it. It would be faster than dashing across the room to my light switch. It could even be mice, I thought to myself, as I slipped into bed wearing the hero's garb of a sleepy man, a pair of boxers and socks. It was like a corpse dropped in water, for its skin was tinged with blue. But it gets worse. Its lank hair was missing in chunks, and as it stepped closer, its feet dragged upon the floor, the nails in them making a scratching sound. It didn't move right, I realized. It didn't just walk. Its motions were snappy and disjointed, and one foot dragged behind it while the other advanced forward towards me. It was slightly rust-colored. It was so grotesque, but still the nails entered. It's gone now, the nailed child. And so will I. Finn.
Wow. So, you reading it the way it is with just reading the sentences that start with words that they probably shouldn't, like its, ends, or buts, because there's always better words to use. Right off the get-go, it's like, it made it seem like he's living in a haunted house and being paid to keep the place up. Because it says, like, this house is creepy, but it pays the bills. And, like, I'm just there to fix stuff. I just sit around until something needs to be fixed. But then one time he doesn't do it, because right after that he says, but one time I didn't. So it's like an entirely different story at that point.
Yep.
And as soon as it gets to describing the kid, it's just like, basically verbatim. You might as well just copy and pasted the entire paragraph, it sounded like, because it was just one after the other just describing the child. It described him as blue, and then later on described him as rust-colored as well, so he's both.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't directly talk about the bag at all, or the nails, aside from just the nails in his feet. It doesn't even sound like he attacked him at all in your story. It's very different.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, some of these times when you read these, it's basically a rundown. Like, almost, like, not verbatim, but it hits all the story points. Just because there's that many words that start with words, or sentences that start with words that they probably shouldn't, like ands, or buts, because there's always better words to use. But not so much in this one. That being said, there still is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a question. When you're speaking about a creature,
Uh-huh.
a lot of the times writers say it was like this, it being the creature because it's something that you don't know what it is yet. How would you reword that without saying the creature, the child, the being, like just picking different things like that over and over?
Well, I mean, once it's established that it looks like a child, you can use the child and
That's true.
then specify him or her, like give it a gender.
Yeah.
Even if it's an assumption, because back in the olden days of writing, it's assumed that the gender is male unless told otherwise.
Yeah, back from like old timey like thought processes and stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you just say he, that would solve the it issue for a lot of these.
And you could start by saying, like when I looked out in the hall, the creature was this short little child. Then like I vomited and the child turned around and looked at me. But then you'd be saying like the child had nails through it. The child was carrying a bag.
You would say he, not the child, constantly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because again, it's assumed that the creature is male unless proved otherwise.
Okay.
So
you're right.
You would have the first instance of the child, and then after that, you could use he.
And you can intersplice child elsewhere again. It's just repetitive children, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. But from there, I guess we'll move on to our actual notes here.
Mm-hmm.
So my first one here is this quote here. So that night, I turned off the computer as usual, but then took one extra step. I grabbed a flashlight. It would be faster than dashing across the room to my light switch. It could even be mice, I thought to myself, as I slipped into bed. As soon as I read that, I was like, yes, single quotes for thoughts. I love that. There's no stupid italics in here. You could see right away what it is. He's not just saying it out loud because it's not doubled. I know it's technically not right, but I don't frankly care. This is how it should be done. I did a little bit more research on that as well with like the single quotes. Apparently in British English, they use quotes backwards. So they, this is from my one source from Google, so forgive me if I'm wrong, which I probably am. But as far as my 5-minute research project did, it's in Britain when they're writing, if they're going to say that this character's saying something, like Timmy said quotes, the quotes are single. But if Timmy is talking about Billy saying something, it would be single quote, and then Timmy said that Billy said, then double quote, then put in Billy's quote, then end that off. Whereas in North American English, it's backwards. But I still think single quotes by themselves, that's the best way to do thoughts. Because personally, when I see brackets, I always see that as writer's thoughts, not like the character's thoughts. So yeah, I just like that.
Nice.
And then my next one, quote is this. Closing my eyes, I heard the scratching. Slowly, it got closer. My hand began to shake, but I kept my eyes shut. Why wasn't I turning on the light? Why wasn't I looking? Because there was a new sound. A tinkling, strange, shaking like a maraca full of metal instead of beans or beads. So when I read that, I immediately thought that the new sound was simply Nair's own flashlight being shook in his hand. Because he even said he's shaking, and he's holding a flashlight. So I really thought that sound was just going to be a red herring or something. But it's not. I think it's meant to imply the bag full of nails. I think,
Yeah, the
right?
tinkling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, although the problem I have is like if it's a full bag, it's not going to cause a lot of tinkling noises because they're sort of stuck together at that point. But if there's like only a few, then you can get moving around in the bag, in which case you'd have a tinkling and a crinkle noise of the bag, I would assume.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. I don't think it would sound like maracas because it would be something. Maracas there's something inside hitting a hard surface that's echoing around. So unless his bag is a jar or something, it wouldn't sound like that. Or maybe it's like a wicker basket kind of deal, or a wicker bag of some kind where it's more solid. But when I heard bag, I assumed plastic bag.
Yeah.
I guess it could have been paper bag, but
yeah. Well,
actually, does
the
it
problem
specify?
the problem with a paper bag or a cloth bag is that they would muffle the sound.
Yep. Also, it does straight up say plastic grocery bag.
Okay, there we go.
Mm-hmm. Confirmation. That's why I thought it was a plastic grocery bag, because it said it.
Okay.
That's a pretty good reason, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I kind of wish that the sound was at least temporarily a red herring. Like, he's like shaking. It's like, oh shit, what's that noise? And then he looks down and realizes he's shaking the hell out of his crappy flashlight. And that's what the noise is. But then he goes over and he actually hears the sound get louder.
It's a flashlight with a maraca strapped to it.
Yeah, it's weird that he had that, but yeah. I just meant because like the battery's moving in there a little bit and the lens is kind of loose,
Well, but batteries should be solid or relatively solid, otherwise they wouldn't work, right?
A crappy, like, dollar store flashlight. Do I have to go get a flashlight and shake it beside the mic? Do I have one around here? I'm actually looking for a flashlight right now. You're lucky I can't find one handy. These days, my flashlight is my phone.
Yes. And does it make a noise?
No, but he said flashlight, not phone, okay? How dare you.
It does when I turn on the Maraca app.
Yeah, there you go. You just proved yourself wrong, sir. But no, I'll move from there. My next one is this quote here. I couldn't stop staring. The dried cracking blood against that decaying flesh brought up my earlier meal. And then it does a quick description of the event happening that I won't bother repeating because some people don't like having that kind of thing described to them because it's gross. That being said, let's talk about tossing cookies here. Honestly, I feel like not enough stories use it as a realistic response to things. Because, like, sure, it's a gross reaction, but it's something that a lot of people would probably do when seeing something unreal and disgusting. Meanwhile, most stories, the character just screams or runs or freezes at the sight. It's odd that I have to say, like, good use of vomit, guys. Like, nice. Because you don't see it that much. And then, right around the same time, actually, is regarding Nair's choices in the moment of fear. Like he stumbles back into the room, unable to do anything but die, basically. So I'm going to get this out of the way first, because I feel like the most instinctful reaction would be to slam the door and lock it, right? Because he's still in the doorway, but
Yep.
I get it. He's basically being stun locked by something horrifying, and that is a thing. It's basically deer caught in the headlights, right?
Okay, so just put it in perspective. So he opens the door,
Yeah.
and then he sees the creature. He hurls.
Yeah.
So he's no longer holding the door handle.
Says who?
Well, do you know how? When you hurl, would you hold on to a door handle?
I can't remember the last time I hurled. If it was sudden, he possibly wouldn't have time.
Well, the instinct to hurling is to put your hand to your mouth to sort of block it.
I suppose, yeah.
So the thought process is hand's no longer at the door, and then his response is to get back away, and because his hand is no longer on the door, he can't close it.
I guess.
So
I didn't think
makes
about the
sense,
hand
right?
position thing. So yeah, you're right. And also, like, considering that this is an unknown creature of unknown origin and abilities, it could be using some magical mumbo jumbo to force Nair to focus on it and not think about anything else as well. Basically pulling aggro. So, like, clearly this creature's like a melee tank class of some kind, right?
Yeah, because honestly, if his hand doesn't move, then that's pretty creepy in itself. He's just standing there, and his barf is just projectile while he's just standing.
Or just like a baby, it's just like bleh.
Yeah, just screaming down his face.
Oh god. It's gross and silly at the same time. And Nair really got it bad. Yes. And speaking of him getting it bad, the bag in its hand split a little, and the sight of what was within made me let out an audible and most likely bile-scented groan. A nail jutted out. I cried loudly as the thing pounced upon me, and I felt the first nail go into my eye. So, attack scene is happening. Roll initiative. But no. So this whole attack scene is kind of a blur to me, mainly because it's not really described very well what's actually happening. And the importance of the bag ripping, which, based on the ending, is a sticking point of the creature, but it's all kind of a blur. I don't really get it. Because the way it is now, the fight is told like this. The bag rips, a nail presents it, or at least this is how I visualized it. The bag rips, a nail presents itself from the bag, and shoots from the bag into the victim, and then the creature jumps on the victim to hold them in position as a second nail goes flying out of the bag into the other eye, and then the creature presumably just shoots more nails into the victim, and then the creature drags the victim away. So, at least that's how I visualized it, because through this whole fight scene, there's no mention of the hammer being used at all. So, does he not actually drive the nails in with it? Is he just using the bag as a casting focus for Akardi's nail gun, a spell that our wizard characters used in our Esoterica tabletop RPG that we played on our sister podcast, One Less Die, plug. But yeah, joking aside, I feel like this creature's whole thing is that it carries nails and it has a hammer. So why not describe the horrifying concept of this entity holding you down and driving the nails through the victim?
Okay. So, what if we have this all wrong, and the nails are the creature?
I'm sorry?
So, think of it like the nails themselves are animated.
Uh-huh.
So, that's how they fly into his eye, and then get into his other eye. Like there's no need for a hammer other than maybe the kid has a hammer because he was trying to defeat the monster, which was nails, and failed.
I see. So he could have a gun. Like what he's holding doesn't matter. That's just what he was holding at the time of his death.
Yeah.
So when Nair nails happens, it would be an adult man holding a bag and a flashlight.
Yes.
Okay. I see you. Although that's really annoying that they made it a hammer. Just like hammer and nails. Like it makes sense. Use it. Why not? But yeah, you might actually be right. I don't know. Because, as I said, the hammer's just, it's there. I figured it was going to be a Chekhov's hammer situation. A hammer's described. A hammer is going to be used. But no. Not at all.
Classic misdirection.
Yeah, right. The misdirection should have been the flashlight with the sound, not the creature having a hammer and not using it. Very strange. But yeah, even in the situation that we both talked about, actually, that the bag opens and the bag just sends the nails out, like because they're animated nails, I still feel like the creature should send them home in the target, just because that concept is horrifying. Because as it is, it's essentially like getting shot with a gun, which I'm not saying isn't horrifying. I would not want to be shot by a gun, but it's way worse if you're being shot and then it's like everything's being sent home again. You're getting technically hit twice every time. It's like getting hit with a bow and arrow, and some dude comes up with a hammer and just whacks the back of the arrow, knocking it through you, or even just deeper. It's like insult to injury every single time.
Hmm.
Yeah. The basics of that is the attack scene is a blur.
Yes.
It's covered in darkness that even the keenest of ears can't see through, as the story would describe it. And then my next one is just in regards to the silence at 3 a.m. And basically, like, what is the whole deal with it? Because the creature stalks the halls every night at 3 during its haunt.
Yep.
So is it basically like putting up a Doctor Strange-like mirror dimension on the building so the other buildings can't hear what's happening in this building? And then it's just kind of walking the halls and waiting for some curious schmuck to show up and look to see what the noise is. And then once it finds its target, it like a big exclamation mark appears over its head and it collapses the mirror dimension onto the victim's apartment so none of the neighbors can hear it or something. Is that the deal? Like, that's the best I could get with my headcanon of all that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because also, this Nair who died here, does no one else in the apartment care or know that he died? Is this basically going to be like a false Hydra situation where the creature like MIB neuralizers everyone in the area after taking a target, so no one even remembered that Nair was living there? Because if this creature's been going around murdering many, many people, why is no one aware of it?
Yeah. Well, it must have a silent aura or something. But
also, like, I guess I'm assuming that the creature murders a whole bunch because we just know of this one creature's existence. For all we know, this kid died and got turned into this specter and has been haunting these halls, but no one's been dumb enough to investigate it until now. And now there's 2 of them haunting these halls. That might be the case.
Well, the thing is the hall in the apartment, or is it outside the apartment, because it just said he went outside his room. So
Yes, which made me assume it's like Jerry Seinfeld's apartment sort of deal, where like Kramer lives across the hall, Newman's down the hall, you know.
But he's sleeping in his bedroom. So
Yeah.
is he just opening up to his hallway that's in his apartment?
No, I assumed like an apartment isn't necessarily just one big room. There is like dividing rooms.
Yeah. And it says that at the beginning that his apartment was high on a platform, surrounded only by dense fog and the sharpest blah blah blah. But that assumes that there's no apartments directly around his apartment. Only fog.
Well, it doesn't say that he's the only apartment there, just that his apartment is up there, surrounded by blah, 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 blah. Unless it straight up does say. Hang on.
It was high on a platform. That's what it says.
Platform. If I could spell platform right, that would help. There we go. It's like my apartment was high on a platform. It's not actually, it's like. It's using that as an analogy to feel isolated in regards to the supernatural darkness, silence aura situation.
Okay.
So he's probably just like on the 4th floor of an apartment building, hence the high up on a plateau surrounded by nothing situation. I assume. Yeah, when he hears the noise, where is that? A loud thunk against my door made me leap up. So, that's with him sleeping. So if he is thinking, if that door is his bedroom door, then it's already in his apartment.
Yeah.
Or if his apartment is like Jerry Seinfeld's, I don't know why I keep going back there. It's just the first apartment I'm thinking of.
Yep.
Then there's no actual door to the bedroom. It's kind of in a separate nook. So his door would be the front door.
Yes.
So it could still be that would be his first door to get to the hallway. I don't know. I guess a little bit better of a apartment description might have helped with this.
Yes. Yes, a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even just saying like, where is it? A loud thunk against my door to the hallway, or my door outside. Well, outside would be outside. Yeah, my door to the hallway, or my apartment door, which makes it sound like it's the one you use to get into your apartment.
Yes.
Accidentally doing some sort of grammar stuff here, but that's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Needs a bit more description.
A little bit. And then my last actual note is in regards to the ending switcheroo. So basically, Nair is a bagman now, and okay. And I'm assuming you're going to bring this up as well. But how did he type this so effortlessly when he's like blind?
Yeah, and the final sentence of "I'm so excited to see you." Like, how can he see us holes in his eyes?
See doesn't necessarily mean vision, but yeah, you're right. But also magic. Like, he's a magical undead creature now, so should we be asking these questions?
And if we go with the theory that I brought up, is that the nails are the entity and they basically are possessing him, then the nails potentially could have eyes of some kind.
Oh, you know what's on every nail? There's a nail head on every nail. And you know what's on heads? Eyes.
There we
every
go.
Every nail has multiple sets of eyes. There, we figured it out. So he has 360-degree vision now of everywhere, depending on nail placement.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're all over the child's body, right? They want a good 360 no scope.
Yeah. 360 no bag. Sorry, 360 no hammer. There you go. Yeah, a better question to ask in regards to the ending might be why, though. As in, like, what does Nair or the previous bag child get out of being put on the internet? Is the big thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I understand us as a reader need to get the story, but having it in a first-person switcheroo perspective really makes it kind of confusing.
Yes, very much so.
Like, is he as the entity trying to install fear in those that read this? Like, if he's a belief entity, the more that believe that he's real, the more powerful he would be, presumably. So maybe that's why he's doing it. Because if no one knows about him and no one believes that he's actually a creature, he has no power.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a situation where, because we read this, if we lived in an apartment building, then he has a teleportation. He has a fast travel location to our apartment building now.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we believe in him,
Mm-hmm.
or if we're actually scared by him. So that might be why?
Yeah. Yeah.
I also kind of wonder what happens on the death of Nair. Like, would there be two entities out there, or is it basically just he left that child's body to take over an adult body now, and the child's body just falls dead now? Like, he basically just body swapped.
Yeah, that's a mystery.
Who knows? But that's about it for my notes. So, on to you now, Mikey, for any of your notes.
All right. So, my first note here is on the title.
Mm-hmm.
So, the title is Nails. And going in, I was sort of expecting, I don't know, maybe nails on a chalkboard or nails in a coffin. But what we got was nails in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, that's also nails in a coffin sort of situation because that killed him.
Yeah,
but yes.
And then the last actual thought I have is, because I've been chiming in, I have a quote. I should really tell you anyway, just so you know you're not insane. To which my response is, oh, well, that's a relief.
Yeah.
Glad to know I'm not insane.
I know I'm insane.
It's like, although, can you really trust the words of a madman? Assuming the author is a madman.
The author?
Nair. Nair, yeah.
The writer, technically, I guess.
Yeah.
Nair.
Because, I mean, he wrote this as he was infected by nails, so.
Yes. And wrote very coherently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But as we determined, the nails have eyes, so.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's my end of my actual thoughts.
Fair enough. So, on to final thoughts then. For me, I'm still going to partially recommend it. Overall, I liked it. And it had me asking questions as to why and how everything was happening. Especially with the fight scene. But I still enjoyed it because the monster was creepy. The gimmick is neat, although very underutilized. See lack of hammering. Like, I'll go on the record saying I wish that I witnessed some hammering here. That sounds bad, but still. The switcheroo ending didn't really grab me because you can kind of see it coming, because if you're witnessing him dying, it's like, okay, there's more story. Also, why story if he's dying? So I kind of saw it coming. I saw it coming as it happened, but I wasn't surprised by it. So it wasn't really a twist. And the whole ending of looks like this bag in my hand is about to split also didn't really hit me very hard, because I didn't really get the whole bag splitting visual and the execution of it. Like, I understood that the bag rips a bit and then the attack happens, of which I have no idea what happened. But I don't know, just the wording of it it's not intimidating, you know?
Yeah.
Even knowing the context, it's not intimidating.
So, is it basically insinuating that I'm like right outside your door and this bag is about to split, aka I'm about to attack you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or he's just saying in general to those reading, I can't wait to meet you and have my bag split. Because as I theorized before, reading about him and is giving him belief power to be able to teleport to your front hall.
Okay.
That's the best I can get out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's why I'm leaving it on a partial, because it's an interesting concept. It's just the execution, literally and figuratively, could have been done better.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, the whole combat scene was just rough.
Mm-hmm.
Then what say you, Mikey?
Alright, well, I really didn't like the ending, as we've stated.
Samesies.
Now, thinking that the nails are sentient and can possess people, that adds a layer that I didn't think about when I made my notes. Which makes it almost better.
It makes it almost a partial.
Yeah, but I still don't like the issues with sounds affecting darkness or not affecting darkness, or when there should be light, and then just all the sounds that make no sense, or the wording makes no sense as to why. Like, we got car horns and they can't penetrate the darkness.
Nope.
Well, you need magic missile for that.
Yes.
So, I'm going to slightly change it to a low end partial.
Hell yeah. Because there is potential.
There is potential. But overall, I didn't like it, but there is potential.
So I have a question for you. The very last line, if it was changed to "We're so excited to see you," would that make it a lot better?
Yes.
Yes, actually. Very much so. Because that can mean many things. That could mean the bag man and the bag child as the we, or if it's just one entity, we as in we are nails, we are legion kind of deal, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because that would be cool.
Yep.
And it would leave it with a second, just like, it's a better, like, it's a more snappier ending, because you read it and you're like, wait, we? What do you mean we? But it wouldn't piss me off in a I need to know more. It's more of a, oh, cool, but what the fuck? But cool, you know? Yeah. So I suppose that's about it. And now we get into the outro, which I've been dreading since I agreed to do this. So that's been it for this episode. I don't even know where he goes from there. If you liked it or didn't, leave comments in the comment section below, wherever this gets posted on. Wherever it gets posted. Where's it get posted? Podbean? Is this Podbean?
Yes.
And and sometimes YouTube. We're trying to keep up on YouTube a little bit. Man, I'm doing this completely backwards. I don't care. And for those that no, he plugs Patreon right next, I think.
Yeah.
Fuck. For those that want to support the show, we're on Patreon at Al Dente Rigor Mortis, I'm assuming, on Patreon. And for those that are supporting us, thank you very much. You're keeping the hosting bills at bay, and we very much appreciate that. For the authors out there who write these stories and post them on the internet, thank you. Because without your creepy stories to read about and theorize things about, we wouldn't have much of a show, and we wouldn't have much to talk about. So, thank you. This would be a good time to bring up our that we are on a podcasting network now called Crit in the Night, with our sister podcast, One Less Die, where we do tabletop RPGs, and our cousin podcast, The Role Playing Exchange, for things that go crit in the night. Should I plug your Blue Sky? I hope this is. I'm assuming this is all completely backwards and random. I know it is because I'm thinking of it in the moment. It's like, oh, Blue Sky, right? For those that care, Mikey's got a Blue Sky account, and so does Review Cultist at Review Cultist and Mikey, respectively.
E stands for evil.
E stands for evil. There you go. That's what it is. And I don't have one because I don't care. Moving on. I guess that's it for this episode. I've been poorly your host, the Gamer in Yellow.
And I'm still Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And this has been Al Dente Rigor Mortis. Sleep well. God, that was a shit show. One of these times, I'm going to get like a point for point, just copy paste of what he actually says for the intro and outro. Intro I got, kind of. Outro, man. When I hear this next week, I'm going to be hearing words from Cultist, and when I hear him do the outro next week, I'm going to be like, oh, no, that's in the wrong spot. That one's in the wrong spot, too. Oh, they're all in the wrong spot. Great. I hate it. But it's fine.